as the Kongs make it out of the haunted woods of Gloomy Gulch. They climb the remains of some ancient ship's mast. What's a ship doing this high above sea level? Well, there's no time to ponder that, as a familiar face literally returns from the grave to stop the monkeys in their tracks. This is part 32 of Overthinking Donkey Kong Country 2. At risk of losing some of you, I want to take a second to talk some shit about myself. I'm always trying to get better as a video making guy, whether it's better audio quality, better editing, or whatever. But one thing I'm realizing as I make this series is I suck so hard at writing video introductions. I promise I'm gonna try and do better. Alright, onto the level. The fifth boss of the game is one of my favorites, not just in DKC2, but probably the entire trilogy. You know what, probably out of all the Donkey Kong games ever. Krow returns from Gangplank Galleon, but now he's a ghost, and he's backed by a bunch of mini-neckies the Kongs have stomped along the way. Feels weirdly personal, right? The fight itself riffs on the familiar, but is very much its own thing. It opens with attacks from the ghostly mini-neckies. Whether you kill them or avoid them doesn't seem to matter. What's important is hitting the corporeal necky when it appears. That'll cause a barrel to appear, and like the eggs in the original Krow fight, you're gonna want to break it on Krow's beak. The moments in between Krow encounters are the hardest part, with the Kongs scaling the mast via hooks and the rigging, while eggs fall towards you. It's not that difficult, but like, I'm a fucking moron, and I always struggle here. Luckily, there's a DK barrel towards the end of the first run in case you mess up. Second part goes much like the first, but there's a sneaky ghost boy after the real mini necky, so you've got to be on your toes. Second time up the rigging, eggs will start shooting horizontally. Don't ask me how, just roll with it. Final fight has you confined to the nest, more or less, fighting off an onslaught of ghost birds. There's two more after the real one, but take them out, bust the barrel on old Ghost Krow's noggin, and you're done. Ever wonder what happens if you get killed when you're already dead? This, apparently. It's not often we get a boss that feels like it's actually connected to the greater story, but here we are. Come to think of it, DKC2 does this better than either game. Between Krow's two appearances, King Zing's surprise reveal in Rambi Rumble, Cudgel's clear link to Clubber, and the next boss battle, which I don't want to give away just yet, it feels like there's at least a little bit of effort to make the bosses feel like organic progressions from the levels that precede them. DKC3 really only has the chaos fight going for it, and that's it. The bird to ghost transition Krow goes through over the course of the game is rad, but I think there's something else this level shows us that, to me at least, is much more interesting. Look at where the level takes place. We're in yet another wrecked ship. Where else have we seen something like this? Going back down the island, there's the bisected ship in Kremkey, the half-submerged ship in Crocodile Cauldron, and finally, Gangplank Galleon itself. The latest in a long line of shipwrecks that litter the island. What's that saying? One's by chance, two's a coincidence, three's a pattern or something? It's about as conclusive to me as it'll ever be. The Kremlings are stuck in a loop of their own making. I'm not entirely sure what that loop is, but it always seems to end with them running aground and having to start again. This could go a long way towards explaining the Kloaks, Cleaver, and even Krow's reappearance here. It could also be connected to the power source we'll see in the Lost World. Kind of like the Aztec gold in Curse of the Black Pearl. Maybe the Kremlings unearthed some ancient power in the guts of the island, pissed off some vengeful god, and are now cursed. I don't know, but I do think I'm onto something here. We're now completely done with Gloomy Gulch and are ready to jump into the final act of the game, K. Rool's Keep. To me, the glory days of DKC2 are behind us, but that's not to say what's ahead of us isn't any good. K. Rool's Keep is home to two new level themes, and while the castle sections are very challenging, they're some of the most fun levels in the game. Thank you all for watching. I also want to take a moment to thank you guys who hung around despite my super erratic upload schedule this year. YouTube's a weird phenomenon, but like, making videos about things I love and talking with like-minded people about it is rewarding in ways I never expected, and I don't take it for granted. See you in like 6 hours again.